Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a little chit chat, get ready with me. The topic for today is moving to LA and everything about LA and my experience here. If you're new, I moved from Tennessee to Los Angeles a year and a couple months ago. So it's been a huge change from Tennessee to Los Angeles, and I've experienced a lot, I've grown a lot. I wanted to do kind of a recap video since it's been a little bit over a year and just chat with you guys because I always get so many questions on LA. Do I like living here? I also asked you guys to send me questions on Twitter and Snapchat so I can answer those as well. I'm just gonna kind of open up the video just kind of rambling about LA and kind of backstory and how I got here. Got my coffee, of course. So let's just chill and get ready. I don't know what I'm doing with my makeup today. I just pulled some new products I haven't tried yet, some staple products, and we're just gonna go to town. I will list all the products I use down below just in case I don't mention them. If you hear a dog randomly barking throughout, Molly, my dog, she's 6 pounds. If you're new to my channel, she's a Yorkie, and she thinks she's about 50 pounds. So if you hear her barking, I'm sorry. I'm gonna start with this rose gold elixir. It's infused with 24K. These are so cool. So I moved from Tennessee to Los Angeles a year and a couple of months ago. I moved here to continue doing YouTube and to just be more involved in the beauty industry. I did YouTube for a couple of years in Tennessee, and I felt like I just really outgrew the space, and I felt like I couldn't do anything else there. I also went through a pretty traumatic breakup. I was in a relationship for 8 years. I'm telling you guys all this information in case you're watching for the first time or you're newer, so you might not know. So if you've been with me for a while, I'm sorry I'm repeating myself, but I went through a really bad breakup. It really changed the course of my life and my career in the best way possible. I went through the breakup in 2015, and then I moved here in 2016. And the year before I moved here, it just changed my life, and I learned so much about myself and discovered myself again. Next, I'm gonna take the Stila primer. I finally had the courage to move to LA. My lease, I was renting a house in Tennessee, and my lease was coming to an end. So I decided, well, it's now or never. I'm moving, and once I get something in my head, like there's no budging, I'm out of here. I'm gonna let this sink into my skin a little bit and just chat because it's really hydrated right now. So in March of last year, I came here to look for apartments. I had a list of things. Oh my gosh, it was so stressful. I really liked the first apartment that I looked at when I came here to look at apartments, but it wasn't in the best area. I felt like it could be safer. So I was kind of discouraged, went home for a month, and then one day I just woke up and I was like, I want that apartment. Like, it was definitely God telling me, Amanda, go. Now moving here was a trip. It was definitely hard. I'm gonna go in with foundation. I'm taking this CoverGirl foundation. It's a little bit dark for me, but it's okay because my body's a little bit tan. Oh, and I'm using this new beauty blender, the pink marble they sent me. So freaking cute. This is the first thing Beauty Blender has ever sent to me. I've been buying their products for years. They're the best. Everyone asks how I got here, how I moved here. Was it hard? And yes, it was extremely stressful. I think finding a place is the hardest because you don't live here. And it was just so hard because LA rent is so expensive, and you get so little. I didn't want to drive across country. Like, that was not in the cards for me. I was not wanting to drive. So what I did was I had my car transferred, and then I also had a pod full. This is really dark. I'm gonna have to mix this. Hold up 1 second. The problem when you're using a pod to move across country is that they need all of your stuff way ahead of time, like a week plus ahead of time. So I had to pack up my entire house. And for my car, it was the same thing. It takes like over a week to get there. So I had no car and no belongings except for what I was taking on the plane for like 2 weeks, which might not seem like a big deal, but in social media, for work, I mean, even like I was staying in this house on an air mattress for like over a week. So that was definitely stressful. And then Jaclyn Hill had her champagne addition to the collection launch in New York, and she was like, girl, please come. And I was like, Jaclyn, I'm moving literally like 2 days after. It was so stressful, but I made it work because I was like, I know I have to be there, and it was amazing. It was so much fun. I'm so glad that I went. So on the day that I left Tennessee, it was so surreal because like you're literally, you know, I just have a suitcase and I know that I'm not coming back. And next time I come back, it'll be to visit. So it was definitely bittersweet. So the day that I flew, I had a connection flight in Dallas. So I land, I didn't have Wi-Fi on the plane, and I get all these updates from Delta. and it says that your flight has been delayed 8 hours. And I'm like, this can't happen, because the day that I moved to LA, I had to receive my pod and find parking, blah, blah, blah. God willing, I got another flight. No joke, when I get to the gate, there were 100 people on standby for the flight that I got on. So I got to LA. Kristen Dominique actually picked me up from the airport. I love her. She's so sweet. I remember just getting here to my apartment. I was like, I really have to pee. And Kristen had already left, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't have any toilet paper. I don't know what's around. I just saw that there was a Target. I don't have a car. My car's still being transported here. I Ubered to Target, and I can't figure out how to get in the Target. I'm not kidding you guys. There was no entrance. I guess I should rewind. Remember how my pod was supposed to come that day that I landed? Well, it turned out that there was no parking on the street. So I was like, great, because they don't have parking at a lot of buildings in the city. You just have to find street parking. So since there was no parking on the street, I had to call the company, have them take the pod back to their warehouse. So then the next day I had to rent a U-Haul, hire movers, drive to the warehouse, unload my pod into the truck, and then come to my apartment. It was insane. So the day before, I was looking for an air mattress because I didn't have any stuff except for my suitcase. And I just remember the guy working at Target, I was looking at air mattresses, like, I need to work this aisle. And I was like he was so mean to me. And I'm like, welcome to LA, Amanda. For my concealer, I'm using the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind. So the first time I drove in LA was from LAX to my apartment once my car got here. I remember driving from LAX to my apartment when my car came in, and I remember thinking, this is it. This is how I die, because driving on LA freeways, good luck. So I made it back here, and once I parked in my garage at my building, I did not move my car for at least 2 weeks. And in addition to that, the first 2 days that I lived in LA, I didn't leave my place, because I was like, I don't know what to do. I don't want to drive to the grocery store. Driving in LA was just so terrifying for me. So I ordered Postmates, which Postmates was also new to me. I'd never heard of it before, but it's amazing. I ordered Postmates. I did a little bit of walking because when I moved here, I lived in Hollywood. Hate Hollywood, by the way. I know that's a strong word, but living in Hollywood, hells no. My next thing to tackle was parking. Parking is terrible. I would always look on Yelp to see if the place I was going had parking. And it sounds so silly now that I know how to navigate my way around, but it was just so intimidating when I moved here. Obviously, when I first moved here, I didn't have many friends. It's a very hard city to make friends in because everyone is always seeing how they can benefit them. Everyone visits and wants to live here, but it's just so different when you actually live here. I'm gonna let this bake for a minute, so I'm just gonna chat. Literally the first couple of months that I moved here, I didn't want to go out clubbing. I wasn't really into the night scene. I still am not into the night scene. It's just not my thing. I feel like been there, done that. The only thing I do at nights, if it's like going out, will be for a beauty event, but I'm not a clubbing or bar really type of girl. So what I would do instead is that Molly and I would literally sit on my couch. I would leave my window open because I had like a view of the street and stuff, and I would just watch people like walk by, and I felt like having people walk by and whatever and drive by, it just made me feel like I wasn't alone, because being in such a big city, it can just feel so small. And just so lonely, because I mean, everyone here is searching for something and pursuing something, and it's really hard to make friends. And it was hard because the people that I was meeting, like at places I would go for breakfast or coffee shops, they acted like they had never seen me before, and I would go in there multiple times a week, and it's like, dude, you know my face, at least say welcome back, or do you want your regular? And that was hard because people here just aren't as friendly. And I also felt like when I first moved here, if I didn't carry a designer bag, that I wasn't cool. And I don't want to feel that way. That's not who I am. But that was just the vibe of the area that I was living in. It was all about material items and cars and bags and status. And LA is a bubble, and it definitely magnifies your insecurities. Another thing we can talk about is dating in LA. Dating in LA is terrible. I thought that it would be better because it's a huge city. Now, it's definitely a place where it's easy to be single. It's so easy to be single here because there's so many young, attractive people here. For my eyeshadows today, I'm gonna be using Makeup Geek. I have this matte eyeshadow palette. Ugh, I love Makeup Geek, are some of my favorite eyeshadows in the entire world since the beginning of this journey. But Makeup Geek was one of the first brands to ever believe in me. That's a story for another day, but they are fantastic. So I'm not one for dating apps. Let me just throw that out there. Most of my followers are women, which I don't want some guy sneaking up in my DM anyways. So I downloaded Bumble. I don't know why, but I was just bored and it was entertaining and whatever. So that's actually how I met the two guys. I only went on 2 dates in LA. I've only had 3 boyfriends ever, which it doesn't matter. You guys can date as many people as you want, but I always see people commenting like, oh, I can't keep up. She's dating someone else. Like, dude, I've had 3 boyfriends and I'm 25. Like, so the first date that I went on, this guy was very attractive and I was excited, you know? When we went to dinner, it was just almost like I knew right away. I was like, no. I asked him on our date, I was like, so what are you passionate about? Because I'm a very passionate person. I'm a creator. Like, I need someone who can keep up with me. And he was like, passion? And I was like, oh, no. And it's not like he knew what he wanted to do and he was trying to do it. He had no idea what he wanted to do with his life. And he was almost 30 and I'm like, And I'm so picky. I might sound like a bitch right now, but I'm so picky. Like, I know what I bring to the table. So until I find what I want, I'm fine eating alone. So after that date, he continued to text me every once in a while and FaceTime me randomly, I guess, whenever he got lonely. Who knows? But he would say things like, we really need to watch a show together. It's like, you're not gonna get to know me sitting on my couch, Netflix and chill. Like, who do you think I am? So the second date I went on was probably like a month later. And at this point, you guys, I was just so fine being on my own. And I just felt like, okay, I'll be social. Like, let's see what happens. He had a creative job. He filmed. He was very successful. He was my age. He was 25. You know, everything was very slow with us. We texted a lot. Didn't talk on the phone, but we texted a lot. Snapchat, he was very slow to open up. I didn't even know if we were ever gonna go on a date, but we did, and it was okay. It was just okay. Like, I had nothing good to say, nothing bad to say. I was more interested in his passion than I was in him. And I know that sounds really bad, but what drew me to him was his passion. He was so passionate about what he did, which I liked. It was very interesting to me because I'm passionate about what I do. So it was like the opposite from the other guy that I went on a date with. Like, this guy actually had passion and was successful, but I didn't feel a connection with him and I on anything other than work. So it was more of a friendship. It wasn't anything romantic. I ended up breaking it off and telling him like, hey, like, you know, it's just not gonna work out, I guess. And it's so weird when you're not dating someone. It's almost like you have to break up with them anyways. At least that's how I feel. Like, I want to give you the courtesy of like, I don't want you to text me and waste your time if I'm not interested. That brings me to meeting Raphael, who is the guy I am dating now and have been dating for almost 7 months now. Crazy, right? I feel like I should do a separate video on how we met because I feel like it's a very long story, but that's how we met, and we were friends for a while first. I think that's why our relationship has been so strong, because we were genuinely friends first. So I'm gonna go over to Snapchat and Twitter now and just answer questions from here as I'm getting ready, so that way I'll answer specific questions. So this girl asked 2 questions. First, what is one thing that God has blessed you with during your first year in LA? And what is something good that has happened to you in LA that would not have happened if you were still home? P.S. Love you. Love you too. There are moments when you move somewhere that you're just like, God, why am I here? You don't understand. You're like, okay, I know why I moved, but can you tell me why I'm here? Because I'm feeling quite lost. I mean, there were times I would just sit in my room staring outside the palm trees. I'm like, why am I here? Like, I could be doing this from anywhere. Like, God, like, give me a sign, you know? Something God has blessed me with has definitely been experiences and people that I have met. And these kind of things that have happened would not happen at home because these people live in LA. I had an Uber driver one time, and I'm not gonna lie, I thought he was cute, so that's why I was like happy when he started talking to me. For some reason, I started talking about God, and I have gotten very bold in my faith the last year or two, but I wasn't always so bold. And I remember us talking, and he was like, you know, I've really been wanting to get back to church for a long time and didn't know, you know, how to start. So I gave him my number, and he started going to church with me. Next question, what all celebrities have you seen since moving to LA? You know what's crazy is that I see so many celebrities and I don't know their names. Like, you know, if you know their character's name or you know their face. I tweeted about seeing Charlie Hunnam at the gym, and I tried to take a video of him for you guys on Snapchat without being creepy. So he's doing bench press and I'm walking by and I've got my headphones connected to my phone. So I turn the Snapchat video on and the music starts coming through my phone and I'm like, so embarrassing. So I didn't get a video. What's the most important lesson you've learned since moving to LA? Love ya. I've learned a lot, you guys. I feel like it's not just one thing. I feel like living in LA has just made my skin so much thicker because people here don't give a shit. Like they're so jaded, if I can use that word. I hate to say this, it sounds so negative, but it's a very selfish city to be in. There are so many amazing people here, but there are a lot of not so great people here. And again, that is everywhere. One thing I've learned a lot about in LA is money. Everyone is trying to get an extra dollar from you in LA. How long did it take for you to adjust living in a new state? Do you plan on going back to Tennessee if you get tired of LA? I would say when I'm here for 2 years, that's a good number. I mean, we'll see, who knows? But I feel pretty good right now. I don't know that I would move back to Tennessee. If I did, it would probably be Nashville. I moved from Knoxville, but it would probably be Nashville just because there's more opportunity there. And I love Nashville, it's so much fun. But I mean, I do love the weather here. I love the resources here. But I do plan on moving farther away from LA City. If you wanna go anywhere, it's literally like 2 miles away and it takes like 40 minutes, which is insane. You notice how like when things get real in my eyeshadow, I like can't talk. How much adjusting have you had to do to your skincare and makeup moving to Cali, a different weather environment? Girl, this has been hard because my skin is so much drier than it used to be. There's not a lot of humidity here, which Tennessee can be very humid. So that has been really hard. My skin was great. Then my skin started breaking out. What's it like being away from your family, especially since they're across country? Do you have moments when you wish you didn't move? That is a great question. Really didn't kick in for me until Thanksgiving, and I was like, oh my gosh, I cannot wait to go home. But then once I did go home, I was like, I'm ready to go back to LA. There aren't any moments I wish I didn't move because I know that God wants me here for a reason. It sounds so cliche, but I am a firm believer in where you are is where you're meant to be. And the faster you figure out why you're meant to be there, the faster you can move on to the next part of your life. Do you have more inspiration now that you're able to go to more events and connect with more influencers? Love you. Love you too. I find that I have so much more inspiration, like so much more inspiration because people here are just so talented, so creative. As far as connecting with other YouTubers, I think it's half and half. I think that it can make you more self-conscious because since so many people are doing it here, it can definitely make you feel like you're in a rat race. And I think that it can make you feel like you're competing for something when in reality, you're only competing with yourself. But people in beauty are just so competitive. But I don't think it's one of those things where, okay, you have a lot of followers, you moved to LA, everyone's your friend. Not everyone is your friend. I feel like it was harder to make friends with people who do what I do than random people that I've met through other friends.
She was downstairs.
Did you get my snap?
Yeah.
Did you get my Snapchat?
Yeah. Tell Mom waiting
She
for
was
that.
waiting for you downstairs. How's your work go?
Good.
Number one piece of advice for someone who wants to move out to LA in the future. Number one advice would be don't take things personally because LA, it can be a very hard place emotionally. And then also I would say get ready to put yourself out there because you want to get involved in the community and do things to make friends. So really just be prepared to step out of your comfort zone. Do you deal with a lot of stress, anxiety, and how do you overcome it? So I can be quite an anxious person. My dad is a very anxious person and I do get some of that, I feel like, from him. With success comes stress and a lot of responsibility, and I find as my channel grows and as my dreams grow bigger and bigger and I want to do more things, it comes with a lot more responsibility. There is so much that goes on behind the scenes of what I do, and having your own brand and building an empire, as you see all over Pinterest, you know, there is a lot that comes with that. It has been overwhelming in a lot of ways, and I can selflessly admit that. It's just who we are. We're people. I'm not perfect, no matter how fun my Instagram looks. I go through real things as anyone else does. My faith is so huge for me in dealing with that. Without it, I would be a mess. It's definitely hard sometimes too. If you believe in anything, there are times you kind of fall away or you get off track, and those are the hardest times for me. I feel like I'm kind of going through that right now, where I fell off a little bit. Staying close with my friends and family that I know that are there for me, and Raphael helps me a lot. He's always there for me and such a strong man. I don't know what I would do without him. God placed him in my life in like the perfect time, as God always does. And also you guys help me out so much more than you know. Is it more expensive? What was your biggest struggle? LA is so much more expensive, you guys. It's unreal. If you knew my rent right now, you would shit. My face is like itching and I don't want to ruin my makeup. When I first moved here, my rent doubled from Tennessee. In Tennessee, I had a huge, brand new 2-story, beautiful house that I rented. And here I downgraded to a 1,000 square feet apartment, a flat. And my beauty room was so tiny. I outgrew it so quickly. And 2, working in beauty, we get so much PR. That's why I want to start doing more massive giveaways, because I have all this makeup that I would love to use that I'm not. So I need to get on that. Anyways, everything doubled. You have to pay to park everywhere. You have meters, you have validation, you have the taxes here. There's no income tax in Tennessee. There is one in LA. This needs to be another video, you guys, of how I started my channel, everything. I know you guys always ask. I want to do it so bad. As an entrepreneur, as someone who works for herself, you have to take risks. If you believe in what you do, you have to take risks. This is a long question. Amanda, for the Q&A, I have 3 questions. Many of the LA girls are always at parties, going out, taking pictures, but I don't find you with groups often. They also tend to be the same girls that are having drama with other YouTubers. 1, have you been welcomed by other LA YouTubers the way you thought? 2, have you ever considered moving back home or moving back east? And 3, why do you think a collaboration hasn't happened yet? You're so much better and much more skilled than all these fake out there with palettes. Very sweet, thank you. I appreciate the love and support. So I will dissect this question. I've met so many amazing, nice people, but I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Like, everyone wants to pretend like everyone's nice. They're not. It's just not life. I've noticed a lot of people want to be your friend and take pictures with you at events. If it makes them look good and if it helps them in any way, they're all for it. I'm getting my lashes ready, by the way, so I'm not just like looking down. I'm always so optimistic when I go to meet people, even people that I followed. Like, I just feel like I know them, and probably the same way you guys feel about watching us, you know? So it's definitely hard when they see you as competition or they don't want to make friends with anybody. Like, it just sucks because you look up to them and you want to, you know, you want to be their friend and be cool. And if people in the beauty industry were better to each other, it would help everyone, because so many brands get away with things in our industry because people don't talk or people think of everyone as competition. It's really sad. I've been welcomed. No one's ever been mean to me, but I've also been disappointed. So I distance myself just because I don't want to be a prop for someone. I don't want someone to use me just to gain some followers, you know? I'm definitely seeing the industry change into this place of who can expose who, which is disgusting. I stay completely out of that. I don't want any part of that. I think it's terrible. I think it's sad to see all these drama channels trying to expose people when in reality they're monetizing their videos, and them talking trash about other people is paying their bills and making them money. And I think that it doesn't make them any better than the people they're trying to expose. Instead of using your talents, you have whatever they are, you're just stalking other people's lives and seeing how you can drag them. I think it's terrible. Why do you think a collaboration hasn't happened yet? I am so picky when it comes to affiliating myself with the brands. That comes with sponsored videos, that comes with anything. Like, even when I do sponsorships, they're only brands that I love and believe in and that I get to know the people behind. I say no to 95% plus of things that come my way. The reason a collab hasn't happened yet is because I've said no to everything that has come my way when it comes to that. I've just started working on things the last year or so. I just wanted to be in a space where, 1, I felt ready to collab and put my name out there. I didn't want to do it just because everyone was doing it. When I come out with a collab, I want it to be the best thing that you've ever used, and I take it very seriously. I would never slap my name on something just to make $1. That's not who I am. I wanted to wait until I moved here and until I really got to know the people behind the brand. So I've just now gotten to that space where I've heavily started working on some things. And when it comes to going to parties and taking pictures, again, free makeup and events don't pay the bills. I'm very much a businesswoman. I like to have a personal life outside of my job and outside of beauty because makeup is my life, but at the same time, I need to have a balance of things outside of makeup. And I get invited to so many events every single week, but there are so many other things I'm working on that I put priority in. I also go to the gym almost every day, which is a huge priority of mine right now. Everything is personal. There are a lot of people in the industry who just go to have fun and they have other jobs, or you know, they just have different priorities or work a different way than I do. I can only speak for myself. And some days, you guys, I'd rather sit on the couch, watch Harry Potter, and just like have me time than go to an event. You know, sometimes you just don't want to go. What's one of your favorite places to eat in LA? P.S. I love you. I love you too. Favorite place to eat? I love John and Vinny's. It's a little modern but authentic Italian place, and they play like Beyonce and like Drake, and it's just such a fun place. Also, Catch LA is an iconic spot. It's so beautiful, such good food. Definitely recommend that place if you're here. Why do so many other big YouTubers act so cliquey and fake? You and Casey H have never been that way. That is a question that I cannot answer. I think that's just people in general. I think whether it's beauty, whether it's finance, whatever it is, I'm gonna bronze. I think cliquey and fake people are everywhere. We're imperfect. I don't know, you guys. I don't have an answer for that question. Do you ever get lonely out there? We need to be best friends. I love you. Absolutely. Having a boyfriend helps for sure. He's my best friend. But before him, it definitely can get very lonely. And I'm a very social person. I like to always have someone around. I'm fine doing things on my own, but I love to be on the phone with one of my friends, or just because doing social media can be lonely. I'm talking to all of you guys and putting this out there for millions of people to see, but at the same time, I'm, by myself chilling. Hi Amanda, love you and your videos. You're a bomb. My question is, what part of LA do you live in, and did you save up a lot? I did live in Hollywood, which I mentioned earlier. Don't recommend that. Hollywood is nothing like they show in the movies. It's so different. It is very dirty as far as trash everywhere, and the air, you can just tell the difference in the air quality. The air is so dirty. I know that sounds weird, but you can just it's not good. My balcony at my first apartment would always be covered in black soot. I guess that's the right word, from just cars driving by. It was disgusting. I'm gonna talk a little bit about money and tips for living here or moving here, because I get a lot of questions about that. I saved for a year before I moved here because I knew everything was more expensive. I did research as well of, price differences between groceries, anything. And I saved because I wanted that security. I would never move somewhere like LA without saving first. That's just me. Some people can move with $100 in their bank account and make so much money, and it's a great success story, but that's just not me. So I did save. Tips would be to obviously have a job before you move out here. And if you don't have a job before you move here, I would make sure you have a lot of money saved, because money goes like this, and everyone is always eating out in LA, and there's so many fun things to do, so it can be very expensive, and before you know it, you're spending all this money. I spend the most money on food for sure. Another tip would be to stick it out. When it gets hard, don't give up, because it will get hard. LA is one of those cities where things that happen here you would never believe unless you visited or came here and met these people. It's insane. It can be inspiring, but it's insane. I would also say that if you're moving here, to surround yourself with people who are bigger than you. You don't want to surround yourself with everyone who is less than you, because you want people in the room to inspire you. I know me coming from a small town, that was hard because everyone knew me, and then coming somewhere where a lot of people don't know you or don't care. but being around people who are bigger than you inspires you to work harder. And it's helped me a lot being around people who I'm like, wow, I want to aspire for my business to be like that one day. I know that you mentioned you want to move out from the center of LA. How much do you pay for rent, and is it worth it? P.S. I love you. I don't want to go into how much money I pay for rent because it's insane. Is it worth it? For me, I feel like, I'm gonna use this Kylie highlight I love. I feel like the rent for me right now is not worth it, just because all the events I go to, yes, they're pretty close to where I live, but at the same time, I do so much from home. I feel like I'm ready to move out further, like I had mentioned. It's just, for me, working at home, it's not worth it. However, if you need to be in the city or in the middle of everything, I would recommend doing that, because if you can get away with walking to work or, you know, being close to things in the city that you need, it's much easier to walk than drive. Driving here is terrible. Is shopping there more expensive? It can be. There's a grocery store called Gelson's, never going there again. It was close to my first apartment, which is why I went there. And I remember I was making chocolate covered strawberries. And so all I bought was chocolate chips and strawberries, and it was like $15. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? I feel like in general, all food here is more expensive. I never get gas in the center of LA because it is just so expensive. Also, one thing I noticed is that depending on where you live, services are more expensive. So you can call somewhere, and as soon as they ask for your zip code, they will jack up the price, because if you live in certain areas that are bigger, they assume that you make more money. I think for my lip color, I'm gonna use Queen Bee. I'm gonna answer one more question and then do my lip color. So what are the good places in the city people can live at? Like, which ones are not ghetto and won't get shot and still be able to pay? LOL, if that makes sense. Glendale is a great place to live. This is not necessarily in the city, but it is beautiful. It is clean. I love going there to visit in Glendale. It's so beautiful. A lot of people live in the valley. It is warmer, but you can get more affordable places to live. I'm gonna set my face with the Glam Glow Setter. So here's the final look. I am wearing a dress. Looks like I'm not wearing anything. I'm actually getting ready to go to a Kiehl's event in about 30 minutes, so it worked out perfectly that I filmed this today so you guys could get ready with me. So if you guys want me to do a follow-up video, I could do one on my vlog channel, just answering questions. Like, I might even just be like chilling in my pajamas. Do people even wear pajamas anymore? Chilling in my sweats. To summarize my year here, it's been amazing, but it's also been very difficult and very challenging. I feel like I've been growing so much the last year, and it's taught me a lot. I'm hoping that the first year was the hardest, because now I feel like even though I'm dealing with challenging things in my life, I feel like I'm able to handle them better. And I feel like it's just really made me more into a boss bitch than before. I mean, being a woman in general is tough, right? But I want to compete with the best of the best. People have always underestimated me my entire life, which is okay, because I love proving people wrong. So I'm so thankful that I have you guys, and that you're a part of my A team, and that you've followed me on this journey, and that you've stuck with me no matter what, because we've been through a lot together if you've been here for a while. Honestly, I'm happy if I inspire you at all. If anything, like, my main goal on my channel is to inspire and to share makeup and just bring a place to you where you can relax and breathe and escape your crazy life for a moment. If I left out your question and didn't answer it, or if you thought of anything, feel free to leave it down in the comments. I will get back to you as soon as I can. I love you so much. If you have not yet subscribed, don't forget to hit subscribe and the like button down below. As always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having a great week, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye, guys.